Hi, this is Marty from Blue Lightning TV. I'm going to show you how to make an outdoor neon sign and then show you how to easily change its colors. This is an update to neon tutorials that I've done on earlier versions of Photoshop. Open the photo I provided so you can follow along. Its link is located in the video description or project files. Open your horizontal type tool and choose a relatively thick font for your main neon sign. I'm using Astrid Regular. If you'd like to use it, I provided that link as well. For this font, I'll choose a size of 110 points, smooth, and center alignment. Click the color box and pick white. Click on your document and type out your text. If you want to move some of the characters closer together, click between them, hold down Alt or Option, and press the left arrow key on your keyboard. To reposition your line of text, open your Move tool and move it. Go to Layer, Rasterize, and Type. Control-click or Command-click on the thumbnail of your text layer to make a selection of the text's shape. Go to Select, Modify, and Contract. Contract it by 3 pixels. Notice the selection has contracted around each character. Press the Delete key on your keyboard to delete inside those areas. To deselect it, press Ctrl or Command D. We're left with an outline of each character, which we'll make into tubes of neon. Double-click the thumbnail of your text to open its layer style window. Click Outer Glow and the color box. Pick a color for your main neon sign. I've already picked a color I like. Its alphanumeric number is 08B6FF. To save your color onto your clipboard, highlight the number and press Ctrl or Command C to copy it. Then click OK. Change the blend mode to normal, increase the opacity to 100%, and make the size 9 pixels. Click Inner Glow, the color box, and press Ctrl or Command V to paste the color's alphanumeric number into the field. Then click OK. Change the blend mode to normal, make the opacity 100%, and make the size 2 pixels. Then click OK. Next, we'll increase the glow and add a subtle drop shadow behind the sign to add dimension. First, click the icon at the upper right corner of the Layers panel and click Convert to Smart Object. Now we can click the FX icon and add another outer glow to the same layer. When the Layer Style window opens, click the color box and press Ctrl or Command V to paste the number of your color into the field. Then click OK. Change the blend mode to normal, make the opacity 60%, and the size 50 pixels. Click Drop Shadow. Increase the opacity to 100% and change the angle to -15 degrees. Make the distance 11 pixels and keep the size 5 pixels. Then click OK. To enhance the glow effect, we'll blur the neon slightly. Go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur. Blur it 0.3 pixels. Next, we'll arch the sign. Press Ctrl or Command T to open your Transform tool, and if you see this warning, click OK. It just tells us that the smart filters will be temporarily turned off. Click the Warp Mode icon and open the Custom Warp presets. For this example, I'll choose Arch, but feel free to experiment with the other presets. To decrease the bend, type in a lower percentage. I'll type in 25%. Then click the check mark or press Enter or Return. To brighten the sign, make a copy of it by pressing Ctrl or Command J. Let's place these two layers into its own folder. To do this, shift-click on the thumbnail of the original sign to highlight both layers. Then press Ctrl or Command G. Name it whatever your sign says. Next, we'll add the secondary neon sign. Open your Type tool and choose another font. I'm using Air Conditioner Regular. If you'd like to use it, I provided its link. For this font, I'll choose a size of 26 points. Click on your document and type out your text. If you want to center it under your other sign, open your Move tool, shift-click on the folder to highlight both layers, and then click the Align Horizontal Centers icon. Click the large T next to your main neon text to make it active. Click the FX icon and choose Outer Glow. Click the color box and pick a color for your secondary neon sign. I'm picking a bright green, 00FF90. As before, save it onto your clipboard by highlighting it and pressing Ctrl or Command C. Then click OK. Change the blend mode to normal, make the opacity 100%, and because the font size is small, I'll make the outer glow size 7 pixels. Click Inner Glow and the color box. Press Ctrl or Command V to paste the number of your color into the field. Then click OK. Change the blend mode to normal, the opacity 100%, and the size 3 pixels. Then click OK. Next, we'll make the secondary neon sign brighter. Convert the layer into a smart object and open the folder of your main neon sign. Place your cursor on the effects and hold down Alt or Option as you drag a copy of the effects to the secondary neon layer. Close the folder and double-click on Outer Glow to see it in the Layer Style window. Click the color box and press Ctrl or Command V to paste the color of your secondary neon sign into the field. Then click OK on both windows. In the next few steps, we'll place our entire sign in perspective on the exterior wall. To save space, let's collapse the effects. Click off the eyeball of the background to temporarily hide the layer. Make a composite snapshot of your neon sign by pressing Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E on Windows or Command-Shift-Option-E on a Mac. Hide these two layers by clicking off their eyeballs. The next few steps will be to prepare the neon sign for the vanishing point filter, which will place the sign into perspective. Press Ctrl or Command A to select your sign, and Ctrl or Command C to copy it. Deselect it by pressing Ctrl or Command D. Hide the sign and make the background visible and active. To place your sign correctly onto the wall, we need to brighten the photo. To do this, make a copy of it by pressing Ctrl or Command J, and open the Levels window by pressing Ctrl or Command L. Drag the input white to the left until the wall that the sign will go onto is bright enough to see. Then click OK. Click the New Layer icon to make a new layer. Go to Filter and Vanishing Point. The Vanishing Point window will open. It defaults to the Create Plane tool. Click on a corner of the grid that shows the wall's perspective. Release your cursor and click on another corner. Continue until you've clicked on 4 corners that show the perspective of the wall. When you see a blue grid appear, you can extend each side by going to the middle of the side, and when you see a straight double arrow, pull it out. The grid follows its perspective. Continue to extend each side of the grid. Then press Ctrl or Command V to paste the sign into the window. As soon as you drag it into the vanishing point grid, it snaps into the perspective of the grid. Position it on the wall, and then click OK. Next, I'll show you how to quickly change the colors of your neon sign. First, hide the bright background copy. Click the adjustment layer icon and click Hue Saturation. Click the Clip to Layer icon. This restricts the adjustment layer to effect just the one layer beneath it. If we don't click it, the entire image would change colors. Now, slide the hue to the left or right. This is Marty from Blue Lightning TV. Thanks for watching.